My name is Cameron Waring and I'm from the Australian Driving Institute. Our training is generally driver training. This has morphed over time into doing other types of driving related work, including like buggies, side-by-sides, quad bikes. But the vast majority of our work is in sedans and four-wheel drives. So the work that we're doing is also based on prevention. Generally, we do a bit of a health check on a fleet. The client that will get the biggest returns is going to be a large fleet with high exposure and self-insured. And these organisations can actually manage their benefit as they go along. We help them to achieve certain outcomes which relate to mostly crashing cars, but we also do operational expenses and we look at ways to manage their fleet better. The other client is normally in resources sector, where we're training in accredited training, and that's where you have to stick to specific outcomes and there's specific measures you've got to take during the training. And that's to allow them onto things like mine sites or oil and gas. That has recently changed. It's been quite exciting because they're not allowed to use shovels and things like that when they're out in the desert. So we're now training them almost survival type training. It's been really good. And then of course we do a lot of work with government, and that work is more about prevention. We have a couple of positive impacts. One of them, which isn't really realised too early in the piece, is more around the operational side, something as simple as tyre wear or even fuel use. And when you're running a fleet of 2,500 vehicles, the cents really add up to dollars. Initially, the biggest gain that we'll see is in crash rates. We established that how many crashes they're having for every 1,000,000 kilometres of exposure, what type of crashes are they. We can then establish whether they're primarily at fault. So we do a very black and white system that if they hit something, we say it's their doing. When they're self-insured, they're paying extra money out. The average kangaroo strike is about $6,000, and in an agri-business, that's an extremely expensive way to go about business, because for every dollar they spend, they have to return another 50 just to make up that $1. So when you're having a $6,000 crash, they're multiplying by 50 to look at the impact on their potential gross profit. They're also looking at the safety side of things because they're often at high speed. The impact we have on vehicles around town in cities is quite a bit different. We didn't set out to engage Russell, we set out to engage the CFO Centre. We saw that as a weakness. Russell was deemed as a good fit into our business, and there couldn't have been a better choice. Russell fits in extremely well. He's an amiable bloke just to chat with, but his intelligence and his experience has just been wonderful to ride that wave. I highly enjoy working with Russell. I enjoy the intellectual stimulus, and I'm really enjoying the next stages where we intend to take our business. We saw that there was a real weakness in our own understanding. My wife and I are both co-directors. We have very separate roles within the business, and we do a pretty good job of separating home from work and respecting that there is a hierarchy. Tanya is actually the general manager. I suppose in some degrees I'm more of the visionary. But the reason that we needed to talk to someone like Russell was because we lacked the intellect and the tertiary experience to develop a business into a larger scale business, where we've done okay up to the point of 30 staff, but we're now going beyond that, and the planning is completely different. And I suppose we lack the confidence, and Russell has provided not only clear and precise strategy, he's also taken the sting out of some of the decision making and the fear of what we're trying to achieve. So he's a wonderful hand to have on our shoulder and guiding us through the network of growth.